Hey there, beer friends. Hopefully by now you've seen my video where I gave a quick overview of how I studied for my Cicerone exam and some of the tips that I have for taking the test. So this is sort of an addendum to that video where I show you all the beers that I drank right before the test and how I went about tasting and kind of reviewing them. And then I've also got a little clip at the end where I go through how they give you your results and how they break down how you did on the test and what all that information means. So hopefully it's helpful to you. If you have any questions, leave me a comment, send me a message. Hope it helps some of you. Cheers. Okay, so I started with a Munich Helles because I felt that I still wasn't very confident in my German style beers. So this is a beer from a microbrewery in Ontario here. So it's not necessarily true to style, but it was something that I had in my fridge ready to go. So I decided to drink this one. I'm using a moss mug because I was trying to be appropriate with all of my glassware while tasting. So then I moved on to Chimay Blue because, again, I tend to struggle with the Belgian beers. So this is technically, I think, considered a Belgian dark strong. It's a dark brown beer and it's around 9%, so it falls into that category. I don't have really the appropriate glass for this, so I used my Grimbergen chalice type glass here. Yeah, and this one was really good. I enjoyed this one. Okay, so again, I have another lager. This is a Dunkel though, so that means it's a dark lager. So it originated in the same area in Germany, in Munich. And so Helles means light, Dunkel means dark. So this is like a darker version. I could not find a Dunkel at my local liquor store. I asked for a Dunkel and she brought me to Dunkel Weiss, which is a wheat beer. So again, I had this one in the fridge and put it in a moss mug again. This one was very tasty. I do like Dunkels. Okay, so speaking of Dunkel Weiss, here we go. This is going to be a dark beer. It's a wheat beer. This one probably wouldn't come up a whole lot in the Cicerone test, but, you know, I just kind of grabbed whatever was available that was German or Belgian that I wanted to kind of review and study more. This would probably be considered a Stein. It doesn't have those little dimples. And again, I was trying to drink the Dunkel beer in the Dunkel mug. So this is a Weiss beer. This is the same version, basically, of the beer that I just had, but a traditional light version. And wheat beers like this are usually more highly carbonated, and so they would be served in a taller glass like this so that you can see that really nice head. This one obviously seems to have quite a bit. This is one of my favorite glasses. I got this in Switzerland at Feldschlossen. So, yeah. Weiss beer is going to have those notes of banana and clove, maybe a little bit of spiciness. And that all comes from the yeast. And of course, this will be 50% wheat malt or more. Okay, so Kostritzer Edel Pils. So this will be a German style Pils. When Czech Pils first was out and about on the scene, it made its way over to Germany, and the brewers there wanted to make something that was a little bit hoppier, that they could showcase their hops. So German Pils are typically a little bit more bitter and have a little bit more hop character. And
the Kostritzer is a traditional, true to style example. Okay, so again, I had to find a local brewery that made a Saison because for some reason we cannot get Saison DuPont in Canada. It just is not sold here. So this is from a Belgian slash Dutch farm style brewery in Ontario, and they've won many awards for their different beers. And so I figured this one would be as true to style as possible. So this one was very good. I actually really liked that one. Okay, so here we are with our International Pale Lager, Modelo. And since there are various glass options for this one, I went with a shaker pint. So this one I probably didn't drink entirely, but you know, I wanted to be able to see the color. I wanted to be able to smell it. So something that I actually did to help me remember what I was drinking was walk around my apartment and describe the beer to my husband as he sat at his desk. So I would say, this is really citrusy, or I'm getting black pepper, or it smells like honey, or it tastes like a little bit of corn, etc. So I would walk around and I would talk to him and tell him what I was drinking so that I could sort of reinforce all those flavors and aromas. Okay, here we have a Trappiste from Rochefort. This is a Belgian triple. And if anyone's ever wondering what I'm doing with the caps, I do it ever so slightly, and then I twist the bottle so that I don't bend the cap too much because I want to save them. For what? I don't know, but I save them. So this was also a really nice beer. I found that with the higher ABV Belgians, I tend to like those a little bit more than the lighter ones because they're a little bit more malty. So that one was very nice. This one actually was a celebration beer. My friend bought this for me, and I opened it after I took my online exam. I thought I needed a beer to relax and celebrate, so I opened this one. It's similar to the Dunkelweiss. It's called Picantis, and I can't really recall offhand why it's different, but it tastes very similar to the regular Dunkelweiss. So now we're going to look at our results, or my results. Basically, you'll get an email saying that you can log in and see your score. So you'll come to this page and you'll see the overall score in each section on the right side of this box. And then on the far left in the green is your overall score for the whole test. So I still have an NA for the Cicerone exam just because at this point I haven't taken the the tasting or the demo portion yet. So you can click on that little link that says your strengths and weaknesses, and it'll basically run you through each section. And anything that's in red is somewhere you received a point deduction. So you'll see that I missed a point for serving alcohol because my first question on the test was about the drinking age in Saskatchewan. Anyway, so then you'll scroll down, there's beer styles, and shockingly, some of my best styles were the pale lagers, the Abbey ales, the Belgian beers. So I really think all that tasting I did definitely paid off. So beer flavor and evaluation, I want to say these are going to be more like short answer kind of questions. Brewing ingredients and process. It's kind of confusing here because like the part where I missed a point on mashing, I actually had an essay question about mashing. So I don't know if that's all tied in together or if this was just the non-essay questions. And then we have pairing beer with food, which I am not very great at. So I'm totally fine with how I did in this section. That is it. That's what you're going to see. Also, I want to say a quick rip to my Feldschlossen glass because very shortly after I did this video, I knocked it over on the counter and it broke, and I'm devastated.